This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
What is up, everyone? It's Saturday night. You know what that means. That's right. If you're hearing this voice right now, it means this is Fearless, and you're listening to the Sorcerer Supreme of Saturday nights on TFR. And I'm sitting here with my co-host and etheric translator, Paula Milo. How are you?
Hey, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm good tonight.
Awesome. Before we start the show, shout out to Chris and Sri Gio. We love you guys so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing it like this. So thank you very much for everything that you have done and all the work that you put into everything that you do. And if you enjoy this show, and you really enjoy it,
get a subscription.
You get every other show on TFR with the subscription to any one show. So whoever your favorite host is, doesn't even have to be us.
Yeah, you can listen to back episodes.
You can listen to everyone's back. I mean, there's thousands and thousands. Also,
past episodes, yeah. Get a subscription.
It's the holiday season, so my shameless plug's going to start right up front because I got yelled at for not doing it right up front. Check out IamWeAreFearless.com. IamWeAreFearless.com. Sergio and I got together a few years back and started putting something together to pull away from the mainstream way of living. As you guys know, I don't work. I'm disabled and permanently out forever and ever. You know, I'm fighting the hard fight, right? We all are, though. There's something I'm noticing. We're all pulling away, and we're all starting to do the things that we believe that we can do. And I was tired of wearing things like Nike and Reebok on me and things that promote Saturn and Satan worship, and with signs and symbols that have been usurped and taken away from us. So we decided to put back into that and develop our own brand and our own products that let you know what we're feeling and we're thinking. I mean, you go to check out the site, you get shirts like the old throwback Fearless shirt, like the Run DMC.
Oh, yeah, and they're local artists. So you're supporting local artists.
The artists. Yeah, you're not making Frank rich. You're not making Sergio rich. We put together a platform so a community could come together and start to develop a way to, well, at first we were like, oh, how could you put yourself through college? Or even, you know, you're going through high school and you got to get that job and it's pretty difficult to have that job, but you're great at computer art and graphics. Why not get that stuff up and on T-shirts and just, you know, hats and sneakers, jewelry, bring yourself into the mainstream, start to realize how to build a business and be part of a team. Also, the artists get 50% of everything. All right. They give us the artwork. We take care of the rest and we give them 50% because we believe that we need to start this community that we can start to fund ourselves, believe in what we believe in and wear what we believe in and promote what we believe in. So there's a ton of great artists like Shaman Ron, Nicholas Servos, Holly, Sven.
On and on and on.
Cousin Tony. I know I could go on for hours, but all right. So guys, IamWeAreFearless.com. Check it out. We have boots now. We have sneakers. We have DMT inspired hats, Castle Waska t-shirts. We have the Love Brushed women's snow boots, and tons of other great gear. So go ahead, check it out. Let us know what you think. And if you get anything, leave a review.
Oh, send a picture.
Send us a picture.
Send us a picture in your gear, and we'll put it up on the website.
And we got some special things for you, too.
Yeah, and we want to say thank you to all of the people that sent healing prayers to the new baby that we have, little bear. And, since you started praying for his healing and good health, he has been recovering leaps and bounds. We've had him now for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, he gained 2 pounds. And he's almost through the woods with his upper respiratory infection, and he can almost see out of his eyes.
I haven't been doing the meditations lately, and I've been backed off of everything due to the holiday season and all of us upgrading in our own individual ways. I have to put forth energy towards my family right now, and I just literally haven't been able to meditate for myself and with everyone else and take care of the baby and do everything else. So, guys, thank you so much for everything. The post, the FearLess family.
Oh,
FearLess
yeah.
family
And everyone's stepping up and doing the meditations on their own and their variations of the meditations. And
shout outs to Robert Hall.
Yeah, we think it's wonderful. We really
amazing.
do.
And shout outs to Rihanna. If you guys want go to Kindred Spirit on Facebook and check out the magic wands created by Rihanna. I know we're getting some stuff done in the front. And big shout outs to Dawn. I know she's in the chat room right now. I love you, Dawn. I get all your emails. You're the best. All right, so I want to just go over. They put up the card for Saturday shows on TFR. I just want to say shout outs now to all the hosts. Spirit Germany, Cracking the Reality Code, Exploring the Mysteries, Twin Flame, Divine Fire, The Eye of Ra, FearLess, Paranormal Portal, Beyond the Veil, and Into the Microcosm. Guys, we are doing it. You're awesome. This is the best day in radio. And thank you for allowing us to be part of this. And with that being said, the energies are absolutely goofy canoofy this week.
Oh, my goodness. Crazy. I went through, I think, every range of emotion I could possibly go through in just a few days. The energy has been erratic, crazy, off the charts. I've been at the high of highs and at the low of lows, and sad and happy and depressed and every emotion in one. But I feel like I'm working my way through it. But I know a lot of other people have been going through the same thing. So if you're in the chat room and you want to share your experiences, please go ahead.
One of the weirdest things, I was talking to my mother about this. She said, what are you feeling? What does this feel to you? Right? Like, because I was going crazy. And, I said, Ma, it's like someone taking you and like throwing you into a bowl of Jello. And now they're like, go ahead, make your way through it. And I'm like, man, I just woke up. I don't want to swim through Jello. I don't want to be high intensity. The energy's so high where I couldn't tie a knot the other day in front of Paula, and I flipped out and I threw the laundry and I screamed, Jesus Christ, space Jesus in a ship. Like I threw a fit because I couldn't tie a knot because my hands were shaking so bad, and the energy that was coming out of everywhere was so intense that I'm going, wow, if I can't even do this, imagine what everyone else is experiencing. Because I knew the end of the retrograde happened 2 days ago.
Well, we were all going through it.
So we were getting smashed with retrograde the whole time.
So you got hit with our crazy energy. We got hit with your crazy energy. It was just a big energy exchange last week. It was really rough to get through.
When I mean we're bungee jumping from like, let me rephrase this. The ones that are putting in the work are, raising their frequency, getting away from the drama, the distractions. They're in full understanding of what's happening, even though it feels crazy. So that they back up and they go to do their thing and they get into a nice little place, even though they're in their crazy mode. And we feel like, I got this. I can handle it. I got a book. I got a blunt and some coffee. I'll be fine. It never quite works out that way now, does it? Right?
No.
Okay. And we bungee jump back into the frequency that we just saved ourselves from to now work with the person next to us. And we're like, I don't even want to go there. All the beings, all the beautiful beings I've been speaking to, all the shaman and everything, everybody's kind of like, bro, I get it. We're going through it. I'm the all, you're the all. It's great. It's groovy. It's enough. You could feel the temper and the frustration, even though internally, I'll be honest, I feel light. I feel pretty good. There's really nothing to be stressed about, even though there's a lot of craziness. If you notice, if you back away from all that craziness, it's not actually you and the craziness. It's some words we're making with our mouth that accompanies, that brings along like a frequency,
the behaviors that go with
drama.
it. Yeah.
Did you see what he did? And we can't get past it. And
Well,
he's
you know
stuck
what
in the
it
cycle
is?
and loop.
It's the end of the year. It's holiday drama, family drama. You know, everyone looks so forward to the holidays and so forward to celebrating and being with their families. And then that's when the drama starts. Is this one going to show up for dinner? Is that one going to show up for dinner?
How
What's
can I
going to happen
accommodate
now?
you?
How can I accommodate you?
Can't do this,
What
gotta
does
do
this
that.
one like to eat? And who is this one going to bring? And, you know, all the
Oh, I got to do this again this year.
all the anxieties that go with it, you know, Christmas shopping and
Traffic.
you know,
The
traffic.
stores itself and the people. All right, let me ask you a question. Because you're great at answering these.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, thank you.
Theoretical translator. Why is it that people are making it so easy for everyone other than those people to hate them? And hate's the wrong word. Strong dislike. But, you know, people have been screaming, I hate people. Right now, we've all gone through, like, I can't be around people. But people now that usually push the button are like obsessively just pushing it to really just piss everyone off.
I think it's like what I said. There's just a lot of weird energy running around now. It's a stressful time. You know, money is a situation. The end of the year, holiday shopping, don't bite that. Don't bite. You're gonna electrocute yourself.
Yeah, the baby's
The baby's
finding
biting.
his way around and
he's
biting all the
biting
electrical
cords. We have to baby-proof everything now again. I think it's just a lot of energies running wild now.
like
you know,
drivers.
you're going to see the best in people and you're going to see the worst in people right now.
Why, though?
You know, but it's the close of the year also. You know, oh, that's not him.
I
didn't know.
Cats everywhere.
They really, you'll just throw a quarter and you hit a cat. Yeah, it's just difficult now. Money is a big. That's
Money's
why.
tight.
Yeah, money's tight.
And the kids
you
are
know.
crying, I want this, I want that. Give me Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2, right? But so you're like, oh, I'll capitulate. And then there's everything else. There's everything else that accompanies that, all the games and the athletics and the stress.
But I
got to
think-
get up, I got to be here, got to go there, got to be here, got to go there.
But I think.
Is it set up that way?
I don't. You know, I think as we're going through this ascension process, all of us, all of our fearless family and friends, I think that there's a tolerance, like we refuse to tolerate certain things any longer. And I think when you put your foot down and you say, no, I'm not going to stand for this behavior, or no, I'm not going to stand for that old way of thinking, that's when you really see the good in people and you see the people that are never going to change. And it's a real eye-opener because we want to have faith that people will do the right thing, and we want to have faith that people will come together. But we can't rely on someone else acting or doing something in a certain way for us to be happy. Because if we're waiting for that, that's never going to happen. So if I think so-and-so is going to do that thing that's going to make me feel better about the situation. If he just did this, I'll be great. And that's not how it works.
You know, that's a load of poop.
But it is. It's not how it works. You have
You're
to
always
go
relying on the external. If you did this, then I'd be the happiest person in the world. It's like, why don't you just be a happy person and learn how to
right, because that's how it should
do a
be.
workaround
We
until I
can't
pick it up.
we can't expect other people to change the way they do things so that we can respond differently. We just need to respond differently, period. You know,
I agree.
Stepping back, you know, like even
You
myself.
don't really remove the issue. I'm sorry. You keep avoiding or going through it a certain way until you just literally face the issue down and go, nah, I'm not dealing with this no more. Or yes, this is the terms and conditions.
I choose to engage or not. You know, you can argue points with someone. You know, I found myself in this. I was having this whole scenario was playing out in my head. I was invited somewhere for a holiday party and I can't go because there's a conflict, and I felt terrible about it. And I was going back and forth, and then I just had to sit myself down and say, this is not going to happen. It's not possible for it to happen. And I can't make myself crazy trying to make it happen. These things are out of my control. I can only work within the purview of what's going on in my life. I have to do what I can do within the boundaries of my own life.
Right.
I can't make magic happen all of the time.
No, I can't make magic happen for you all of the time.
For you.
That's how that
we can't,
works.
yes. And
like you're your own creator. I'm
yes.
not a clown here to please you, or I'm doing magic tricks for you.
Well,
you
that's
have
not,
to rise just like everything
Well, that's
else.
not even what I mean. I mean,
No, I know.
you know, I mean, like, you just, sometimes you have to step back or step away from something or take yourself out of the picture for a while because it's in your best interest. And if you don't take care of you, no one else is going to slow the world down and say, you need to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to make the time for you to do that.
No one's going to give you the tip to buy Bitcoin.
You
at the
have
right
to.
price, so then you become rich in 2 seconds.
You have to do it yourself. You have to do what you feel you're comfortable doing.
Yes.
And I think if we can do that, then maybe we can maneuver through this life a little easier. Just a little easier.
I see so many people hoping and waiting on things that'll never actually come true, no matter how much they wish it to be, because they're relying on another creator who's literally like, it's like saying, no, there's cocaine in the room and Jack does cocaine, but no, the cocaine's safe there. We got to go out for a couple hours. It's like, when you come back, that shit's either going to be gone or tapped into. Why? Because he likes that stuff. That's what he does.
But that exactly.
Just saying, yeah. I got to throw it down like that because I'm the other side of that coin. Look at her face. If you could see it, you could bottle that and sell it to knock demonic spirits right out of people named Frank. Right, but you're wishing that he wouldn't. You're like, no, but I love him and I grew up with him and he's a trustworthy guy. So just you can't trust him around that stuff. So wishing that he did and hoping that he did and thinking that he will, and then he doesn't each time over and over again, expecting a different result, is just insanity for you. So you have to pull away from the situation.
Right.
Yes. You're awesome. So we've had a lot of culminations this week of stuff that's been happening for years and years. I went to court this week. That was another thing why people haven't really seen me. We talked in the early episodes of the show about the fear of paperwork and my injury and all that good stuff. But culmination of sticking with things and standing for what you believe is correct and manning up and not backing down but not being disrespectful, going through the process, getting hammered with letters of failure and no big stamps. Nope, I don't think so. Right on Christmas Eve every year for years just to stick through it. And now I went to court the other day and something strange happened. Other than my cat playing with the electric wires. Get out of here. Okay, so my lawyer, I just met him the other day, right? And I don't really want to use his name, but Wu-Tang Clan, the music group, is from Shaolin, right? So when I hear that, I get psyched, okay? And this guy rolls up, and he's like, yo, Shaolin. And I'm like, And I begin to see the light kind of kick on. I want to believe what he's saying, but I've been here before. But you got to have faith. I'm sitting right next to Paula, the woman of faith, all faith in the world, sitting there going, the day you met me, everything will be all right. He gives us a little bit of a story. We go to court. I meet the judge. I'm in a room with just this guy, Shaolin style, a court reporter, and whatever the stenographers, and then the judge. And the judge looks like the judge from Joe Pesci movie where he has to get the kid out. He was really Thurman Munson, okay, from the Munsters. All right,
Herman Munster.
So he looks at me, just kind of. He said, just be respectful. And as I'm always respectful to a point. I'm in the right place, right time. Hello, how are you? Good morning. How are you? Boom. That's all it took. It was like eyes were lighting up in the room. Real organic, raw consciousness for the first time in years. And Paul, you said from day one, just hang in there. You got to push through it.
Yep.
Make it work itself out.
Yep.
And what did it start doing right in front of me? Disseminating out. Right? out into the matrix. All the no's started becoming, well, might not be 100% yes because of technicalities and this and that, but there is a yes in there. There's a, wait a second, from here to here, there's a monster yes. As a matter of fact, it was like opposite of day one.
Right, because your way of thinking changed. You went into this differently than you went into it last time. So, of course, you're going to have a different outcome because you have nothing to lose at this point. You also have to believe it. See, the people that say, I'll believe it when I see it, they're never going to see it because you have to believe it before it happens. Because seeing it is the last step of the process. Because believing it is what gets you there. You didn't believe that you could come to the end of this, well,
that goes for a lot.
For everything, I mean, Frank's been out of work for a long time. He's fighting with workers' comp. He's fighting with Social Security. We're trying to get some benefits rolling. And, this might be a positive outcome. We're not sure, but we think it's going to be a positive outcome, after so many rejections and denials and no's in the past. But Frank finally changed the way he was thinking. And because he changed the way he was thinking, there was a different outcome. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case with everybody.
But you got to stick to your guns.
But you have to change the way you believe, change the way you feel, believe something different if you want a different outcome. If you want things and you ask the universe, you will get them. If you believe you are worthy of them. If you do not believe you're worthy of them, you're going to get more of what you're asking for. I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have enough money. Well, you know what? The universe puts you in situations where you will never have enough money because that's what you're telling the universe you want.
There is no lack.
I'll never find love. I'll never find love. Well, the universe will put you in scenarios where you will never find love. If you want these things, basic things, you could want to buy a new coat for the winter. I mean, you just have to believe that you're worthy of the thing that you're asking for. And then once you believe that, then the universe can provide it. You also have to widen your view on how you can receive things. People put things into a funnel, and they're like, well, if I need money, I can, and I've said this before on previous shows, I can ask for it, I can work for it, I can borrow it, I could steal it. And the universe is like, okay, well, you just pigeonholed yourself because you only gave yourself 3 scenarios on how you're going to get that money. When the universe has an infinite amount of ways that wish can be granted, that dream can be fulfilled, that thing that you're wanting you can receive, because we don't have to worry about how, we just have to worry about what do we want, what do we need, and the universe takes care of the rest, and you just have to believe it. And this is the conversation that Frank and I have been having for years. You just have to believe it. So it's that simple, but because it's so simple, people don't think it can happen. And it can. Frank is proof.
I see a lot of people giving up. This is even why I bring it up on random things, little things, big things. And they say, when you're throwing a baseball when you're a kid, you kind of lopsided. Everybody is at first, not everybody's a natural. As you progress, you get better. Same thing, you playing an instrument. Going for walking and breathing, if it's relevant to you and you're paying attention to it, you just get better and better and better at it. And in the beginning, it's just like, oh, I want to give up. And I hear a lot of people give up on things that now it's years later, and you would say to yourself, damn, if you just stuck with that, or if I stuck with that, depending on who whatever the situation is, it would have been handled by now and finished.
Yeah,
and we would have been having this conversation under a palm tree, sipping a fruity drink.
Because
but
you would have.
Instead, you're a crabby little pineapple. Now, you do it again. Okay, but we're all victims of this. All of us. There's a whole bunch of us doing it right now. I must have went through 80 this week. Paula looked like she was going to put on boxing gloves at one point.
Because you have to believe that if you put as much energy into doubting that you can do that thing, and just try to do that thing, you'll already be on the other side of that thing.
Yeah, you're already
You're already through it. Like, like we got this animal and we didn't know in the beginning. It was touch and go. We didn't know if this animal was going to live. We were pretty sure after a few days he was going to live. But in the beginning, there was a fear. And then it was, oh gosh, what if he's blind? Oh gosh, what if this happened? And, one by one, we said, we'll deal with it. We'll tackle it when it happens.
I literally didn't even think that after we had that first conversation. I let it go because...
Right, because you can't hold on to that fear, because we can't be afraid of the unknown. We can't be afraid of what may or may not happen.
If that cat's eyes don't ever work again, I will pick him up every single day for the rest of his life and put him in the litter and feed him and do whatever I got to do because I love him.
Of course you would, but you would do that anyway. So now why not eliminate all of the drama and the worry and just do what you were going to do anyway?
But that, my lovely lady, took years of being around you to understand, even an animal, and then being around animals multiple times and losing them to understand.
But it is hard to understand because people don't think it can be that simple.
That's where I was going. Exactly.
We got through the worst part of it. And now this animal is thriving. He's gaining weight.
He's just running around in between our feet. We're looking up and down every 30 seconds like we have a child running around in here. He's biting the wires. He's biting my toes. He's up to... But when we were picking him up...
2 weeks ago, he was lifeless. Lifeless and a bag of bones. So...
And I just went... This cat's mine. You were saying this cat's yours. You asked, and then
you asked the universe, and you got exactly what you wanted.
Instead of complain, like we talked about this last week, instead of complaining, we would just do, and then boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, we're having this show tonight. It's 2 weeks later, and the cat's licking himself right there. Look at that.
And he's playing with toys.
Squiggly thing around here like Squeak used to.
So we got through the worst of it, and that's just one example. I mean, it just happens to be a stray animal, but it's an example.
Metaphorically, up and down across all
you
levels.
You just have to do it one.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive until you felt my...
What is up, everyone? My name is Frank Castle. I am your Sorcerer Supreme. This is FearLess, and I am here with my etherical translator, who is on fire. And here's my point to all the cat stories and Little Bear and how much we love and the thing. Okay. Everything we're doing here is metaphorical, not to tell you about our cats and dogs and love and all, because we get to the UFOs and the ETs later on. What happens is Frank used to want to go, I'm going to bed. It's a cat. Good night. Right? Now, Frank had a lot of messed up nights for close to 40 years because he didn't really have anything he attached to, believed in, other than certain things within himself and just weird stuff that is interesting, but then started losing all faith across the board. The last 4 years, or we'll just say from the time I went to Chris Gio's house to right now, you got like 4.5 years or 4 years. In that time, I coddled the baby while Paula wipes him with a baby wipe just to make sure we're not playing with poop, because we talk about poop containers. Now, in front of my mother, who's like, I can't even believe I'm witnessing this, who's a woman who drank ayahuasca and died twice in my arms, who never thought any of this was possible in this twisted, bizarro realm. What is going on here? Well, what's happening is, so I removed all the bullshit filler. All of it. We still get, all right, look, you don't lose all of it. You lose as much as you can because there's some bullshit you like. Everybody likes a little bit, okay?
I agree. 100%.
Right? It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then there's that stuff that just is wasting your time. Like you're looking at yourself depressively because you're this or that, or you think other people think. Like, I don't have time for any of that stuff. I used to think, oh, I'm too short, I'm too bald, I'm too fat, my feet are too flat, and I'll never do this, and I'll never do. Okay, scratch that whole thing. I wake up. I'm happy I'm here. I love to see your face. Even though I know you deal with me, I love to see your face.
Oh, so thank you.
Well, I'm trying to show people metaphorically, like, this is how I did it. I have a girlfriend who loves me. When I was like, okay, my mom loves me. Okay, cool. But like, is there a woman who's going to love me? Boom, meet Paula. I go in it 100% because she's going 150%. I'm just like, all right, this is amazing. And the flower starts to open in a different way. I've never actually had an open flower. This is the problem.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, now inside of that, right, there was Oscar and Roxy first. Right? I have other things to do. I'm a musician, right? Rock star. Let's get messed up. I got things to do. I got people to talk to on the phone. No. There was Oscar and Roxy, Squeak, then Buddy and Sherman and Blinky and Luna and Little Bear, and we're going through
the squirrels.
And the squirrels. People come here and they're like, dude, what's going on? All right, my gangster friend was outside with me. He was talking, right? And he rolls up, and I'm like, yo, back up. So he's like, yo, what's up? He has his hands in his pocket. So I have my hands in my pocket. Now, he doesn't know what I see on my side of the fence. This was Joe, right? So he's like, oh, what's up? And the squirrel just comes out. Now, I see the squirrel coming, but he didn't see it. So he comes out, or she comes out, I'm not sure, right up to me and just hands up. It's this funny movement, like I'm doing magic on you, Frank, and I have a peanut. And I had my hands in my pockets looking at this kid like, yo, don't come over here, back up. So I jammed my hand further in and I pulled out real fast, and he didn't know what I was going to do. And I pull out a peanut, and he's like, what? And I hand it to the squirrel. Like, I literally just go, bend down and go, here you go, buddy. Takes the squirrel, and he takes the peanut, and the squirrel runs off. And he goes, did you just feed that squirrel in front of me like that? And I go, I have an entire ecosystem here. If you step into this yard, watch, mind your manners, right? He was like, dude, I thought you were going to, because there was an issue. So he's like, dude, I thought you were going to attack me. And I'm like, why would I attack you? I'm feeding the squirrel. He's like, well, you had your hand in your pocket and your thing. And then they come in and see this. Now, many times during the summer, people would sit out in the yard with us. Yeah. And the cats were sitting out there for like the crystals that we have, the heart crystals that Chris and Cherie had at the pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
We were charging them out on the lawn, right? Buddy comes out and sits down. Buddy disappears. Sherman comes out, does a round. Like, everyone's just coming over. The birds are coming over. We're sitting there smoking a joint, right? Like, everything starts to like fall into.
It's very harmonious, yeah.
Yes, very harmonious system that I was always aware was there, and I couldn't care less.
So this is Frank Family Man, and Frank's mom never got to see the Family Man Frank. She always saw her son, rock star, hating the world, I can't
right in your face,
and so she never gets to see family Frank. So
because Frank never familyed. Third person, don't like when I do that about myself, but it never felt right.
Right, but this feels right. Like, we did a Christmas card this year.
Beyond correct.
And, so now we have this cat. And, his mom is with me because I called her because I needed to bring the cat to a vet that was open on Sunday. And she's like, did you call Frank and let Frank know? And I said, well, he's on a business call now. I tried to call him, but he's on a business call for the FearLess website. I don't want to disturb him. She goes, well, aren't you going to tell him?
So my mother, basically, the people around me think I'm a monster.
Yeah, so she got a little nervous, and I was like, she goes, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? And I said, he's going to go into Papa mode. Yeah, and she went, what? She looked at me like I had three heads. And I said, just watch. And then we brought the cat in, and the first thing Frank says was, let me wash my hands, and what can I do? And she was blown over. Then she sees Frank snuggle this stick skeleton,
holding him like
bag of bones cat,
looking in his mouth, checking it.
Yeah, we're checking him now, and this is a beautiful thing for this woman to see.
Your ball game is on, or whatever.
With that thing that's important for you to do.
You think is important. You're playing Red Dead Redemption. I got to get on there. I think South Park does a couple of good episodes where Red Dead Redemption keeps coming up. The guy's fighting with his wife because she jumped in on his game and everything.
And she changed his spot. And
all things are unimportant, right? Because the animal's there. Now I could easily just spark the blunt, drink the coffee, play the game, talk to my friends, be happy. But am I really happy? Because I did that my whole life and wasn't happy. Okay, so this is where I'm going with this. When you're like, how do I raise my frequency to the higher frequencies and see the beings? Like, let's just throw it all together. I want to be better and I want to do more and I want to do. How did you get there? And when I tell them, people go, no, but the ayahuasca. I go, the Aya is a tool that brought me to level 1 or 2 or 18, and then I had to work from 1 back up to 18 without ayahuasca. Like, you got to do it in your life. So the things that I thought were like, man, I don't want to do that, and give him the old Sherman look. Man, I'm not doing that, right? Well, you get a little baby here, right? You want it to live, right? I realized this with Hop, the bird. We started nurturing the bird, and then the bird was responding to us like we were watching Game of Thrones, and by the time the show was over, the bird knew that I was like, oh, I'm going to sing you a song, and knew that it perked up, looked at me like, sing me that song. And I'm like, talking to you like the bird knows exactly what I'm saying.
Of course.
Like I said, song time, let's go. And he perked up, looked right in my face, was like, okay, sing. And I started to, and he was like getting all into it. And I'm going, what the hell's going on here?
But this little baby did the same thing.
Shed the I don't give a shit, right? You insert yourself unconditionally?
Unconditionally. Everything is unconditional. When you put conditions on things, you've already lost. You've already lost because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And you're going to get the same result you got before. So now this woman gets to see her son in a light that she never saw him before. And that was a beautiful thing, and now we can take it from there. Now we've all gone to the next level and now we're taking it from there.
Right. Now from that level, old things that you thought were important, like I have to do this. And what do you like? What do you got to do that for? What is it, the actual reason? It's really no reason but self-entertainment or some kind of lazy boredom.
Exactly.
Of being hypnotized by bullshit. You step forward with this and then new doors unlock. And I'm using our metaphor.
No, absolutely. But new doors do. And like I found myself in a situation recently where I needed to take a step back from certain things in my life. And I feel good about making the hard decisions.
Let me ask you a question. Did you get, from stepping back from certain things in your life you felt the need to step back from, did you get a response to the formula you were laying out scientifically? Because I was sitting here with you. You're like, I'm going to back off and do this and see what happens. Did you get an answer to any of those questions in the time that you took off?
Oh, I did. I absolutely got the answer. And I got the answer very quickly. So I need to step away from some people in my life. And I have to stop feeling guilty about that. That's how I feel. This is what I want to do. I don't want to do things I don't want to do anymore. And, I constantly say, live your life. And, I believe if I'm going to speak about living your life a certain way, I better walk the walk if I'm going to talk the talk, because
you've said that live on this show so many times in the last few weeks.
But it's true.
We're gonna
and I'm honest about it. I'm honest about it all the time. I do. And when I don't, and I have to tell a story about myself and it portrays me in a derogatory light, I tell the story because it's the truth. And I had to make a couple of hard decisions this week, and I made them. And I have to say, I have no regret about it.
I watched you go through this, and
I have no regret. I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilty. And the outcome was.
You already knew the answer to the outcome.
Of course we all know the answer. It's just having the fear and being afraid to go forward and do it.
There's this weird layer. Think of it as like a transparent.
It's guilt.
Plastic wrap that you put over yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to pass through something difficult to get through to get to something blissful.
And then you get another layer. And then another layer.
And it's like, why are you doing that?
Yes. And
so lack, right? This is what they were showing Jimmy. Jimmy was trying to tell it to me, and I was like, shout out to Shaman Jimmy. I'm loving it. There's no lack, right? So you are Mr. and Mrs. all creator, being, and all that. No lack. Okay, where did lack come from?
Fear.
And then it was
Fear.
one layer wrap, and then another layer wrap, and another layer wrap, until your light started actually getting slightly dimmer.
Well, it does. You can't
because,
see through all that.
You're actually putting how many layers and wraps of plastic
of film can you put on yourself
before your light dims to the point of, is anyone home in there?
This is how we have this linen closet in the apartment, and we talked about this too. And again, some of this might sound mundane, and it's our metaphor for how we walk through our lives, because we say we have to take it 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week at a time. You really do. We have this linen closet in the apartment that is like, we call it the closet of abundance. You need something, you go in there. It's like there's
a flashlight and leaned forward with a towel on my forehead into the deepest pit. It looked like I was diving into a hole in the earth.
Yeah, a treasure chest. Yeah, of abundance.
I reached all the way out, and I was like a diver, and came back with. I'm like, oh, we have multiple toothpaste in there. Here you go. You're like, oh, I got to get more. I'm like, no, there's like 3 more in there. And here's soap. And you're like, do we need more? I'm like, yeah, there's like 12 more in there. And then I was like, isn't this awesome?
But why?
Just towels and cat litter.
But why can't we take that and apply that in other parts of our lives? So if we have the closet of abundance, how come I can't be abundant in every area in my life? And the answer is I can. I just have to believe it to be so.
You have to apply the methodology of how you brought that into the physical, the abundance closet, into your physical frame, into your physical framework. In other words, you have to believe you can do it because you got something in front of you. We just succeeded. We have a closet of abundance. Why aren't you the abundance? Well, I'm the one that brought the closet with you and put it together. Oh, so wait. So we have a closet of abundance. I was screaming. It's like Santa's bag, right? In the movie, by the way, watch the movie on Netflix, the new Santa Claus movie.
Oh, the Christmas Chronicles. It's the best. I have a feeling it's going to be the new Christmas movie.
How the bag works, right? Like how these presents.
It's like a portal. The Santa Claus's bag is like a portal.
Wreaths are a portal. It's amazing with all. So we're reaching in there to do that, but I'm like, look, we don't have elves in there supplying this stuff. How are we doing that? And it's like, oh, wait a second. You mean Paula and Frank put that closet together?
Yeah.
We put everything in there.
And we stocked it.
And we stock it every month. Mm-hmm. And we stock it all the time. And we're always pulling stuff out going, this is amazing. How did we get this here? Oh, so we're the abundance.
Right.
So we were capable on a shoestring budget of nothing with all these cats living in a little 1-bedroom apartment. And everybody's like, oh, FearLess, Frank, FearLess, Paula, FearLess. You guys aren't afraid of anything. And I'm like, yo, we're in a 1-bedroom apartment with a bunch of cats, creating abundance closets. I'm getting smacked around by demons for the first 3 years. Paul's just like, it'll work out. And she's chasing them out of the apartment. I mean, this is work. All right, but this was my point of the whole thing is, well, now how do you feel, third person, Frank or Paula, now that you put the work time, effort into your family, stepping away from the BS, having the abundance closet.
Well, there's
having the people
fewer demons flying in and out of the apartment. Why? Because Frank has control of that now. You know.
Now we don't listen. We don't have those issues no more.
We've learned to say no a lot more. We've been.
Your demon comes in here. It catches a beating. It's not even cute. They're like, rah, and I go, oh.
I love the chat room, folks. You're great.
I'm like, look, it's the demiurge. He has a tentacle. Oh, how cute. And it's like, oh, no, it's you. I'm like, oh, you just walked into the wrong place.
Because you have to cut the connection.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. I was just going to say that. I go back to the source of the tentacle and cut it right from the source of the issue. How did you get in here? Oh, through this? Was it me or was it Paula? Was it someone we attached to? Is it the cat? The cat's sick? What do I got to do? Huh? Show me. Show me. And I go for it. In the beginning, and Paula was cutting something in the kitchen 2 years ago. I was on the phone with Christy, a shaman lady who's now in California. She's a comedian. You should check her out. I saw the wall turn black. It's a black goo. It was 12 in the afternoon. I was just talking to her on the phone. I get off the phone, and I'm like, is that wall black goo? And a tentacle or whatever reaches out and grabs me by the throat, drops me to my knees right in front of Paula. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it pulls me in this room, pulls me back into that room, and I can't talk. I literally can't say, help me, Paula, because that's all I wanted to do is say, help me, Paula. She comes over and touches me, and I start throwing up immediately in the kitchen garbage pail, then run to the bathroom, and I start throwing up this black and yellow stuff. And I'm like, what's happening to my world? We've gone from that to abundance closet, to no demonic presence. Your demonic presence, first of all, you could bring it. And I'm not challenging the darkness on this, but I'm just letting you know, in my house, we are sacred now.
Of course.
We are divine always. We've always been that way, but now we recognize it.
You recognize it because you had to raise your vibration.
Right. Well, Paula has already been this, but we are two halves of the same coin, so someone had to be there. So as I claim victory, and I'm like, oh, I reached it, Paula's like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, holy shit, she beat us again. And they're like, well, it's not a race.
No, it's not.
It's
but that's the point. You will
live your life.
You raised, like that funnel we talk about, you raised your vibration, you raised your frequency, okay? You can't take that stuff with you. It doesn't fit through the hole.
And I don't want it to be like a moldy background behind the wall in, let's say, our relationship, the relationship with the animals.
There's no room for it.
There's no room for any of that shit. You know, I don't lie, but I have told white lies in the past, but I have not lied to Paula. Like, I've not lied about anything I've said to my family because there's no room for it ever. Like, when are you going to have some trust? We all have trust issues, right? Like everything's good, right? So we're still good, right? How do you get more good? There are people are like, how do you get more close? I go, well, intimacy isn't always having sex.
No.
Although it is pretty awesome.
No.
But intimacy sometimes is just having this understanding with your partner.
If you can pull a demon out of somebody and you don't trust them, there's something wrong with that.
That's what I'm saying.
But you do. You have to. But that's.
I had to learn how to submit to the sacred feminine around me. My mother, who's so important, and Paula, who is the bomb diggity.
Thank you.
Demon removal service.
Thank you.
But I have to submit for you to do that to me.
But I submitted to you. I opened my energy field to you in order for you to learn how to be who you are now. And it worked. I could have very well opened my energy up to you, and I could have been poisoned by your energy.
And I would never, as the sacred masculine, once realizing that she was doing this for me, and to me, your love is the most innocent, regardless of how dirty she is with you or you are with him or vice versa or whatever. That's your own business. That's okay.
Now.
Listen, you got to speak the truth because we're not just wearing robes. It's about living life and everything, right? But there's a submission that takes place. And within that, when you witness that, it's like being with the baby, right? You wouldn't put the baby down in a dirty puddle of water and just say, wait here a second, I'm going to light a cigarette. I'm just going to light it, then I'll pick the baby back up. You don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
You just
because it's not 1976 and you don't do that.
Listen, you don't want that attachment. So I don't want to dirty her pool, right? So
that's good.
You are the most innocent and the most loved, and what you're doing for me is something that no one's ever done, and you're trusting and submitting. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to poison that pool. I'm not peeing in the pool. You can't touch the punch bowl. No, you're not allowed near it over there. But I'm not hoarding it like, man. What I'm doing is I'm respecting it. I'm like, as if it's my sacred duty and on my sacred land and on the sacred, I'm dead serious. You're not my property.
Rihanna.
But within the sacred space, within all sacred spaces where we're standing, you are that even when we're arguing and I'm like, she's a pain in my ass right now. I'm still going, but that's mine. We're not perfect, but we're divine. But in this realm, we're not perfect. No matter how perfect you're being, you're still being an asshole to somebody. You're villain in someone else's movie, regardless of how awesome you think you are. Okay? So we find that there's this awesome balance. It's like a wave that goes back and forth.
Oh yeah, it's like an ebb and flow. We were talking about that. We were talking about that the other day about the cat. And again, sorry about the cat. I mean, like, I don't want you to think we're just like crazy cat people. We don't never leave the house and we don't shower. But being in the house. It's being on the same page. And I'm not even saying with a spouse or with a lover or with a significant other, a friend. It's just being on the same page with a group of like-minded people. There's something to be said about that. Frank and I come from very similar backgrounds. We were raised in a very similar fashion, but very differently at the same time. And, being able to come together and make decisions based on the good, like in Game of Thrones, the good of the realm, the good of your home, the good of your environment, the good of your existence. That's very difficult. And if you can find that with a group of like-minded people, then hang on to it very tight because it's rare. Yes, give it your respect because it's very rare. Like we've had to make some decisions, like now we have this other animal and, just the pressures of taking care of him and, making sure that there's peace and everyone coexists in this tiny space and that there's room for everybody,
We get it on another level. We're at a family's house and we're all sitting in the room and we're all trying to get that to go in the same direction. It's all practice for like the big game.
And it's worked because Thanksgiving was the dry run.
Thanksgiving was fantastic.
It was a fantastic Thanksgiving because we did not put any restrictions on the outcome of the day.
At first I was like, I don't want a headache. So if these people are going to whatever, and this is going to happen, then Frank's going to whatever. But Frank's never going to do anything. I'll stare you down though and be like, oh, stop. But you know what happened? As soon as I came in and then everyone came in, we were like, hey.
Because we did not put any restrictions on the day.
I had a really good time.
We didn't say, well, if this happens, we're gone. And if that happens, this is going to happen.
Let that go.
We let it go. And then we ended up having a beautiful day. So we're going to put that into practice. We've been trying to put that into practice really ever since. I mean, some days were good days and some days were not. But, it's getting easier to do that. Just letting things go. There are people and there are situations that you're going to be put in on a daily basis that you cannot change. You cannot change the outcome. You cannot expect a different response from the person on the other end. You have to learn how to navigate through. You have to learn how to navigate through the obstacles.
Yeah.
They're not going to move for you. You have to learn how to move around them.
You have to learn to take your ship around.
And if you can. If you can do that, once in your day, then you can do it twice in your day, and you can try to do that every day until you don't even have to think about doing it anymore. And Frank and I take a step forward and then we take 2 steps back, and this goes on and on and on. But we try to learn from every failure that we have.
Failures. We have preparation for success.
But we learn from everything that happens because,
That's not how you do it. So don't when you're playing
let's
football,
not try this again.
Can't throw it like a baseball to the guy sitting out of bounds. You can't do that. Oh, I didn't know. So now throw it. Hand it to this guy who's going to run upfield. Now hand the ball off. You block. You hand the ball. I'll hike it. Let's play the game. Right? We don't kick it. This is what we do. We put our hands on it. We take it and we run. Okay. We agree? You agree? Agree. Let's go. That's where we're at right now. All right. So really quick. I know there's only 58 seconds left, but I went and I got eyeglasses done and they shot this thing into my eye, this light. And there were beings inside my eye staring back at me, holding a door open within the corner, like the inside of my eye.
Yes, Friday
In
afternoon.
Costco. And when I looked back at the doctor was a light being shaking my hand. And I was going, oh my. And they were going, we're waiting right here. It's you. We're waiting right here, but we're inside. Stop looking at the doctor. Look inside. Look inside. Look right here. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Your soul is open and ready for the next level. Checkpoints ahead. Stick around. We got the greatest night radio. I love this job.
I do too.
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
You know what else I love?
FearLess.
And being your protection from this.